Here's your daily hat trick. Gareth Bale gets robotic, talking about the lives of modern footballers. Does the reversal of roles at PSG mean Mbappe is now the king of Paris? And which player was the biggest disappointment in La Liga this season? We want your votes. Post to Post starts now. Hey everybody, welcome into the show. Jeremy St. Louis, happy to have you along. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Mike Fuentes having a great Tuesday based on that yell, I think. So good stuff. Welcome into the program. We've got a lot of stuff we want to talk about today. There's been a lot of news and stuff that's going on. Feel free to drop a comment in for us, and of course we'll get to it as we kind of work our way through the program, looking for your opinions on this stuff and whatever else you want to chat about. So get those comments flying in. Helps to keep the flow going. Speaking of keeping that flow going, Gino, let's get to the daily news. Roll it. You wouldn't believe how long they worked on that actual thing, so we have to put those things in there. We start with, of course, U.S. men's national team star phenom Christian Pulisic, who was unveiled at Chelsea on Tuesday. Pulisic doing the new signing thing. He was talking to the media and speaking about how he's looking forward to playing with N'Golo Kanté, and he's very excited about joining Chelsea. But one thing I don't know about is this horrendous shirt. Pulisic is bound to get some fans, and he was actually signed in January, but decided to stay at Dortmund and help them lose the Bundesliga title race. And now he goes over to Chelsea, and this is the kit for next year.
Disrespectful.
I don't know what that is.
America's greatest.
If you're a Chelsea fan, I want to know what you think about this, because I think this is absolutely abhorrent myself. So, but Pulisic is there now and is looking forward to, and he's certainly going to add stuff to the squad. Good to see the American international making his way over to such a great Premier League club. Prestigious Premier League club, and he'll certainly contribute to them. And he said it's his dream to play in the Premier League, so dream realized for him. Controversy at the FIFA Women's World Cup. It hasn't even started yet, and already we're having problems with the ticketing. Apparently, if you bought tickets for the later stages of the tournament, and you bought more than one, you are not going to be seated together. FIFA has said less than 1% of the people buying tickets are affected by this problem. They're calling it an electronic ticketing error, and they're saying it will be fixed basically by probably emailing their fans and telling them to ask other people to switch seats, kind of like they do on an airplane. Funny to me how this happens at one of the biggest events in women's world football, but has never happened at a men's event. Let's hope that FIFA gets it corrected sooner rather than later, as they continue to portray themselves as a very progressive sporting empire.
Let me sit there. Here's my ticket.
Sorry, this seat's taken. I paid good money for this seat. I'm not going anywhere. This seat's taken. Yeah. Comments already coming in, so let's get into that. Hala Madrid for life, says Arturo Ruiz. Okay, I mean, you do you. Arnie Garcia's got a few in here. It's really going at it. Radu, nice to see you. Nice to have you along. Carlos Montenegro, Man U for life. Fair. I like it. I'm not against it. Yo, I didn't know they hired Arsene Wenger for beIN Sports. Oh, somebody said I look like Arsene Wenger, right? We had that a while ago, right? Somebody commented that I look like Arsene Wenger.
And that's an insult, or if that's like...
Arsene Wenger, one of the smartest football managers in the history of the game. I read his biography. It's absolutely fantastic. So Radu agrees that Chelsea's new kits are a disgrace. On a serious note, in terms of the daily news, Arsenal, a big loss for them for the Europa League final, which from this point forward on this program will be referred to as ELF. That's just what I've come up with. Arsenal playing, of course, Chelsea in the ELF final, the ELF next week. I'm still trying to figure it out. And they've lost Henrik Mkhitaryan for the game. The midfielder saying that he is not going to travel to Azerbaijan. He is, of course, Armenian. Don't get along with the Azerbaijanis, and he has fears for his safety. Now, Azerbaijan, their football federation, has said, we have taken every precaution to ensure his safety, but after consulting with Mkhitaryan and Arsenal, it has been decided that he will not travel for fears over his safety. So that's certainly a blow to Arsenal, and unfortunate for Mkhitaryan that he can't make it to ELF next week. As mentioned, the Gunners are playing Chelsea for that one. Moving along, Gareth Bale had some scathing comments, or has some scathing comments about the football life in an upcoming documentary that's going to be done by BT Sport. Bale, who's still trying to sort out his future, saying that footballers are akin to robots. They really have no choice nowadays. Their life is football, and that's it. And I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I have a problem feeling a little bit of sympathy for a guy who's basically spent the last 3 years rehabbing and sitting on a bench and collecting a really nice paycheck along the way. Christian Vieri, when I spoke to Christian Vieri about this topic, this was a long time ago, I asked Vieri because I said, dude, you have such a phenomenal life. You get to do whatever you want, and you're basically just living it up, and it's great. And he said to me, he says, Jeremy, for 26 years, all I did every day, football, football, football. That's it. Morning, noon, and night, football. I had to dedicate myself in order to be one of the best footballers in the world. And that's what I did. And now that I'm not playing anymore, I get to do what I want. And that's kind of what Bale is talking about. He's saying, I can't go just play golf. I can't just go and play tennis. It's all football, football, football. And maybe he's expecting us to feel sorry for him because of that. I don't know how you guys feel. I kind of don't feel sorry for him. If you get to do something that you've actually worked your entire life to do and become, moderately successful at it, I would say Bale is a pretty successful soccer player, one of the best in the world, then, I'm going to have a hard time sympathizing with that. So you guys can let me know how you think on that particular subject. Maria, you're laughing a lot over there, giggling away at something. I'm trying to be serious, but okay. Valverde out, says Clayton. Okay. Kits ain't bad, says Nathan. Really? You think are you going to buy one of those Chelsea kits? If I gave you one for free, would you still take it?
Yeah, they're not bad. They're awful.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're awful. That's right. That's what Mike's saying. LAFC all day. LAFC, what a job they're doing in Major League Soccer, by the way. It's a disgrace that Mkhitaryan won't play. Sad that the world is this way, says Chris. Yeah, it's really sad, and especially because this is a Europa League final. This is not like a group stage game or even a knockout stage game. This is the final, and for Arsenal to get there and have the chance to win this trophy. Some people don't, it's okay, it's not the Champions League, but it's still a major European trophy. It's very unfortunate that Mkhitaryan won't get to play. He's been a significant part of their march to the final, so that is actually pretty bad that he's not able to go. Carlos says Gareth Bale probably feels like a robot being hooked to machines during his injury recovery. I like it. Well said. Well said. And Arnie basically agrees. He sits and collects a paycheck. What more does he want? As mentioned, that's comments that he made in a documentary that's coming up on BT Sport that they did about the lives of footballers, Bale making those comments. Last bit of news today, saying he chose the best players that were available and that he has. Lionel Scaloni unveiled the Argentina squad for the upcoming Copa America. The usual suspects are there: Dybala, Aguero, Messi, of course. Messi's expected to captain the squad. But there were some omissions. Mauro Icardi was left out, which kind of surprised some, not others. I was not surprised by it. Romero was kept out, as well as a Gabriel Mercado was kept out of the squad. So there were a few surprises with the Argentina squad, but Argentina expected to be, of course, one of the favorite teams as they head towards the Copa America, which is coming up in Brazil. Argentina will play Colombia, Paraguay, and Qatar in their group. So you can give your thoughts on the Argentina squad as well. Certainly favorites. I would really just like to see Messi win one. I really would, just because it would be nice to see him win a major trophy. So let's hit the comments one last time before we get emotional on the program. Let me see here. Got to scroll down because there's a lot of good comments. Bale should go and play for the Columbus Crew. Bale should bail out. I like that one. That was a good one. That was a good one. I like that one. Thelma says should go back to Tottenham. There's talk about Wolves, I've heard, that maybe he's going to go to Wolverhampton. I don't know about that one. That's a significant, if you're going from, well, all due respect to Wolves fans out there, but if you're going from Real Madrid to Wolves, that's a little bit of a drop-off. Bale is a good player. He just needs someone to believe in him again, says Fabinho with the Barcelona logo as his...
We all just need someone to believe in us, Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
$17 million.
Radu's asking, would Jeremy be providing a David Luiz Chelsea shirt? Nope. No, I would not be. Madrid pays you to play games and score, not to go play golf, says Andrew. That's a great point. Apparently, Bale's a big fan of golf and a big fan of tennis.
You know, you make one post about golf.
And you never hear the end of it. Yep. That's the way social media works nowadays. Bale is an amazing player, says Omar, but Vasquez and other youth players are proving that they're up for the job. So, yeah. And I mean, we know that Zidane's comments based on the weekend, which I understand he was misquoted. He's been quoted as saying, even if I had a fourth sub, I wouldn't have thrown Bale on. No, he didn't actually say that. He just said, if I'd had another one, I wouldn't have put him or others in. So it's making it sound like Zidane is against Bale, but I mean, he obviously is, but I don't think it's that particularly obvious. I think Zidane's doing what's best for his squad. Chris is asking, Icardi in, not in, unbelievable. Yes and no. I think the situation with what happened at Inter this year off the pitch with him being stripped of the captaincy and that whole mess, I think Scaloni's basically looking at that and saying, I don't want any of that near here. Maybe I don't want Wanda near this squad at all either. So the best thing is just to leave him out and hope that they get things sorted out. Bale's injuries got in the way of him shining properly, says Goran. That's certainly not to be disputed. Argentina's time has passed, says Fabian. This generation is about to pass through their prime, minus Dybala. That's why I'm kind of hoping that, one last shot for this generation. I certainly don't disagree with that. It would be nice to see Messi win a major trophy and then retire again. Icardi seems to be followed by drama. Yep. Rafa says Messi will choke again in the Copa America. I hope not. I honestly would like to see him win at least one. Messi should win the Copa America, says Abidur, and Bale had so many chances to prove himself, says Steve. So, thanks for the comments, guys. It's time for... Gino, is there a wipe for this?
Yeah!
All right, let's get emotional. And for that, we bring in Michael Fuentes. I said Michael G. Fuentes, but it's Michael A. Fuentes for this one. So, how are you? Good?
Sleepy.
I see you put the real colors on today.
Got to show the color inside my heart. Yeah, exactly.
After Game of Thrones ended, this is the way it goes for you.
Headed to join my final watch.
Oh, nice.
They were all black.
Our watch has ended, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do some emotional stuff here. One of the stories that's continuing to get traction, certainly on our website and on social media, is Mbappe's comments about possibly leaving PSG to go to Real Madrid. Even though the club has come out and said, no. Oh, hey, we're good. We're good. We're going to be together for the foreseeable future. There's still people who think that maybe Mbappe... Here's my take. Mbappe is now as big, if not bigger, certainly more important to the squad than Neymar. And if he stays, you're going to see the relationship between Mbappe and Neymar continue to deteriorate over the next season. And if he does stay this season, next year, one of them is going to go. The other will be the King of Paris. What do you make of Mbappe wanting to leave PSG? What's your emotional response for that one?
I think this is a threat for a money move right here. He wants to make some money moves because if you're PSG, first of all, Neymar has proven to be a little unreliable in terms of his health. When you're a little injury-prone guy, skinny legs. This guy's got skinny legs, skinny ankles. All right? We've all seen that.
Okay.
And then, they tend to
Never
break.
heard that before, Dr. Mike, but
when you get skinny ankles, you tend to break. And Mbappe, when I went to Paris not too long ago, and when I drove by the Parc des Princes, it was all like Mbappe stuff. Like big face thing of Mbappe. The only time I saw Neymar was driving by the team store. Mm-hmm. But I mean, World Cup winner Mbappe, French kid Mbappe, young kid Mbappe.
He's a home kid.
He's the home kid. He's the one that the French team is going to put their money behind in terms of they want to keep somebody. He might force a move himself, but I think if, behind closed doors, you ask any PSG official, they're going to they'd rather keep Mbappe. The only problem is since you paid so much money for Neymar, it's not like you can just go giving him away, So
I think that PSG's statement yesterday was more about them basically laying down the groundwork for a deal, if it does happen, that they are not going to accept a penny under $300 million.
They might, but if he says I don't want to play here, and he makes that known publicly, they lose all their bargaining power.
True.
So that happens in NBA all the time. If the player don't want to be there, they lose all. Look what happened to New Orleans. Anthony Davis is like, hey, I don't want to play here. Then they're basically sitting him because they don't want him to get injured.
Yep.
So Neymar has most. I mean, not Neymar. Mbappe has most of the chips. But let's see if he wants to do Paris any favors.
He's a World Cup winner, which
exactly.
I think puts him on a bit of a higher pedestal.
No, and he relates to young kids and stuff.
Arnie says if Mbappe leaves PSG, would still rule France, and if he does leave, he's going to become a whole different player. I think if he goes to somewhere like Real Madrid, he's the poster boy of Real Madrid, and
how?
he absolutely vaults himself.
But for how long?
Well, he's 20.
Yeah, but I feel like Real Madrid fans are fickle. Especially,
Of course they are.
Yeah, so
Every
but how
fan
long?
is.
You know, like
Nah, man.
you have a few down years.
I think he should go. I think he should go. I think Mbappe should go. I think Real Madrid should cough up the 300 million. You're going to have him for 6-7 years. Go.
I mean, the thing about Real Madrid is they're not a team or a fan base that's going to wait around for people to develop. So while that young forward Mbappe, Vinicius thing looks really good, you know, if you finish the league in third place again, that's major questions to be asked.
Okay. One of the two will be playing at Real Madrid next season, says Radu, so he's making the prediction
Right.
there. Arturo says Mbappe over Neymar. LMAO, hell
He says LMAO, hell salt. All right, I don't know what that
Hell
means.
salt.
I don't know what that
NA.
means.
Hell
LOL.
salt. NA.
Hell
Yeah.
salt. Yeah, weird.
Yeah. Mbappe needs to stop talking and just play the game. If he leaves, fine. If not, just play the game.
said-
Incredible talent, but shut up.
He said one
Chris.
thing. He said one thing.
And he actually did say, this is what I had to say. I said what I wanted to say. And I think he was basically saying to the club, look, I know how important I am. I want to be heard a little bit more. I want to have a little bit more influence.
Here's a question for you. How much is him? Is it him? How much is it the agent?
Well, the agent's always in there, but I think a little bit might be Mbappe.
No, I'm sure he has some aspirations, but he seemed like a pretty innocent guy coming out of Monaco. Now that head's getting a little big, you know.
That's possible too.
I mean,
but
but
he does seem very like a
He,
very grounded player.
he might be striking while the iron's hot too. Maybe he outgrew League One a little bit.
Rafa says Mbappe will leave to Real Madrid because he's tired of Neymar's BS and attitude. Arnie says Neymar is trash. Radu says no pictures of Neymar rolling on the ground in Paris.
Yeah, because he doesn't get on the field enough to.
It almost makes PSG weak. It gives Mbappe a lot of power.
I think we are in a. This is like an entire sporting culture thing, but I think that players have a lot of power and they know it, and they can force moves and force hands and things like this. Yeah.
Okay, the second one we wanted to get to, Javier Tebas, the head of La Liga, was asked about whether he's going to go to England to replace Richard Scudamore, which in itself is a joke. He calls Manchester City out for being a state-run, petrol-funded club. He also said that PSG and Man City should be kicked out of the Champions League because they use their business revenues in order to pay players, to buy players, which inflates the price of the market, which is hurting all of European football. What do you make of Javier Tebas saying that Man City and PSG are petrol-run clubs?
I'm gonna laugh that up.
Laugh that one up?
I mean, there's been a bunch of teams doing this for a long time. Like Abramovich wasn't doing the full-on Chelsea-only model thing.
True.
So you should have thrown Chelsea in there too. And you know, it's a broad thing. I don't think that Real Madrid is only selling tickets and jerseys to fund all their moves either. I don't think that's like just a dumb thing to say, really. You know, there's always going to be this financial problem because there's not a level playing field.
No.
You know, so it's always going to be like
Which
this.
financial fair play is supposed to take care of, but it's financial
Well,
fair play.
there are other teams that have done this too. Before they tried the microwave success, I think it was Malaga tried to do that too.
Monaco
Yeah,
did
Monaco. A lot of teams do it. So to point out two specifically, especially ones that are successful, is just stupid.
Yeah. Somebody in here said Mbappe to Barca. No. Barca's not even interested in him. They have.
Do you guys
Neymar,
just
Suarez.
like throw this out there and hope that like we say something that sticks to? Yeah. Well, man, I'm telling you, easiest job in Europe, transfer rumor writer guy.
Yeah.
That guy wakes up. Mbappe, Chelsea today.
There we go.
Money.
Type
You know,
it
that's
out.
his
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
No,
that's
exactly. It's probably
he
not.
types a bunch of this stuff.
Tim
gets paid.
Stannard
Yeah.
used to work in the La Liga circles in Spain. He was in Madrid, and so he knows all about that. And he has indicated that that's one of the easiest
No,
jobs.
man. You know, it's a dartboard. You wake up. Let's see, Mbappe. Got it. Go in there. Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing that we wanted to get, and this was a Facebook poll that we did with you guys, is who is the most disappointing player in La Liga this season? There were so many that we tried to narrow it
11.
down, but it was really tough. And we knew that as soon as we put Gareth Bale on the list, that's probably where it's going to go.
The swarm.
But I thought Coutinho might get a few, might be,
good
you know,
shot,
he
good
might
shot.
be the top one in there. But as it turns out, based on the poll, it is Gareth Bale at 45%, Coutinho at 37%, Costa at 11%, Michy Batshuayi, who was a horrifying disappointment for Valencia this season, only 7%. But I guess when you're talking about the most disappointing, you have the most expectation, right? So
Yeah.
usually when the expectations are high, the disappointment is just as high if they don't fulfill
Yeah,
them.
but
So I can see the Gareth Bale.
that's a mob mentality thing. That's you know what I'm saying. This is a mob mentality thing. You guys just want to pile on Gareth Bale, you know.
Well, and I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
most of our Facebook stuff is Madrid, Barcelona,
No, and then it's a blood in the water.
and everybody else.
Yeah, all the sharks saw blood in the water, and now you're all just piling on poor Gareth. What?
Is that that's your emoji for that?
This is my overall feeling of everything that's happening right now, because this is ridiculous. You know.
Guys, do you guys work out?
Yeah, the last thing that we have to talk about is Marcos Llorente, the Real Madrid youngster who's
No
posting-
wonder it all makes sense.
putting his training
It all makes sense
videos
now.
on social media. Look at this. He's curling. I said, is that an actual 45 plate?
No, it's not.
But
I
there's no way it
guarantee you
can
it's
be
not.
because they take one off. He can't be curling 90,
yeah, overall,
180
that'll be like
plus the
yeah,
bar.
Yeah, it's not a.
There's no way.
There's no way.
I'm trying to see. I was trying to see what the weight was on the bar, but I think it's a 25.
This is like douche of the week.
It's like 28,
yeah.
25.
Oh, that should be a segment. Douche of the week. This is my nominee. Early
Good
nominee.
luck selling that one
Early
to the bosses.
nominee. No, bro.
Just be happy we're here.
Johnson,
okay?
Johnson and Johnson, send me your money. You know what I mean? The douche of the week. There you go.
Oh my God.
There you go. There you go. Look at that.
No doubt Cristiano Ronaldo will win it 95% of the weeks, right?
Only if you let the fans vote.
Okay. The Copa Sudamericana. The second stage starts at 6:15 p.m. Eastern time tonight. The second stage, they're sneaking it in, the round of 32, before they link up with the Copa Libertadores in July to match their rounds of 16. So the Sudamericana over the next couple of weeks is getting in the round of 32. The first legs of those ties start tonight on beIN Sports, continue Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Recopa Sudamericana starts tomorrow night, and we'll have a pregame show and postgame show for that. Myself, Dre Cordero, and Ray Hudson will be on that one, so be sure to tune in for that.
Are we done?
And that is it for Post to Post.
Okay, I'm
We'll
gonna
be
get some
back
burpees
here-
in. All right, get some burpees
There
in.
you go. We'll be back for more Post to Post Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, thanks for your comments. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Harder!
Come on, baby.
Harder!